Did you know that the most stylish women over 60 actually spend less, not more, on fashion? It sounds almost unbelievable in a world that tells us elegance is about keeping up with endless shopping sprees and closets that never stop overflowing. But here's the surprising truth. The real secret to timeless style isn't about adding more, it's about refusing what doesn't serve you. Think about it, every purchase is a vote for the life you want to live. Do you want to clutter your wardrobe with impulse buys that lose their sparkle after a week, or do you want a carefully chosen collection that tells your story with grace? Women who look effortlessly polished in their 60s and beyond aren't out chasing every new trend. Instead, they've learned the art of saying no to uncomfortable shoes, to bargain bin traps, to clothes that promise youth but deliver disappointment. And that decision, that quiet discipline, is what makes their elegance shine brighter than any price tag. Today, we're uncovering 10 things stylish senior women never waste money on. But here's the twist, each one isn't about limitation, it's about liberation. Because once you understand what to refuse, you'll find your wardrobe, your confidence, and even your daily choices feel lighter, freer, and more truly you. So stay with me, because the next few minutes might just change the way you see your closet and yourself. Meet Selestina Ward, a 67-year-old retired art teacher from the warm, historic streets of Savannah. 4 years, her life looked picture-perfect to neighbors and friends, a beautiful old home filled with paintings, a garden that bloomed year-round, and a closet so full that opening it meant risking an avalanche of sale finds she couldn't resist. Selestina was that woman who couldn't walk past a clearance rack without thinking she might miss out on something valuable. Blouses with tags still attached, shoes that pinched her toes, scarves that never matched anything, all stacked high in the name of getting a deal. Yet somehow, with all those options, she often felt like she had nothing to wear. The turning point came one evening when she was preparing for her granddaughter's piano recital. She stood in front of her overflowing closet for nearly an hour, frustrated, until she finally realized the problem wasn't that she lacked clothes, it was that she had too many of the wrong ones. That night she made a decision that would change her style, and in many ways, her life. She began editing. Piece by piece, she asked herself, does this reflect the woman I am now, or the one I used to be? What didn't serve her went into donation bags. What stayed behind began to form a wardrobe that breathed with clarity and purpose. Today, Selestina is known in her community as the woman who always looks effortless without trying. She isn't dripping in designer labels or chasing what's trendy, her secret is a refined eye that knows when to say no. Neighbors admire her linen dresses that float on summer breezes, her simple pearl earrings that catch the light at just the right moment, and her confident smile that seems to tie it all together. Friends often ask her, how do you always look so put together? And she laughs softly, saying, I just stopped buying what never mattered. Her story isn't just about fashion, it's about freedom. Freedom from clutter, from wasted money, from chasing approval. And as you walk through her lessons, it will feel less like advice from a distant stranger and more like wisdom whispered by a trusted friend who's been exactly where you are now. Selestina's journey proves that elegance after 60 isn't about buying more, it's about finally buying with intention. 1. The trend trap. Trends can feel tempting. Bright colors, bold cuts, flashy fabrics that seem to promise instant youth or relevance. But stylish women over 60 know the hidden truth. Trends are short-lived, and chasing them often leaves you with a closet full of clothes you never actually wear. Selestina learned this the hard way. She once splurged on a pair of neon sneakers because a glossy magazine insisted they were the season's must-have. She imagined they would add fun to her outfits, maybe even make her look more current. But after one awkward attempt at pairing them with her favorite linen dress, they ended up gathering dust at the back of her closet. Months later, she laughed at herself when she realized they hadn't added charm to her style. They had stolen space from the items she truly loved. This is the essence of the trend trap. Fashion fads come and go faster than the seasons, but the woman you are today deserves more than temporary fixes. Chasing trends is like chasing time, you'll never catch it. The real mark of elegance is knowing when to step back and choose what has staying power. Think about the silk blouse that feels right every time you wear it, or the neutral cardigan that always drapes just right. These pieces don't scream for attention, yet they whisper sophistication year after year. Trends are designed to make us buy, not to make us feel confident. That's why stylish senior women never let fleeting fashions dictate their wardrobe. Instead, they invest in timeless shapes, colors, and fabrics that move gracefully with their lives. It's not about rejecting fun or freshness, it's about asking whether that item will still feel like you when the season passes. The next time you're tempted by a trendy display, pause and ask yourself, will this earn a place in my story, or will it be another regret in my closet? True style doesn't expire, and neither does your wisdom to choose better. 2. The bargain bin mirage. There's a thrill in spotting a red sale tag, the kind that makes your heart beat a little faster. For years, Selestina would wander into stores and feel pulled toward bargain bins like a magnet. The promise of getting more for less sounded irresistible. She once bought 3 blouses in pastel colors, each under $10, certain she had uncovered a treasure. But by the second wash, the seams twisted, the colors dulled, and the fabric pilled so badly that even she didn't want to wear them around the house. The so-called bargain ended up costing her not just money, but confidence. This is the difference between cheap and value. Cheap clothing might save you a few dollars in the moment, but it rarely respects the woman you are today. Value, on the other hand, doesn't always mean expensive, it means thoughtful. It means a cotton blouse that holds its shape season after season, or a cardigan that feels just as soft after the 10th wash as it did on the first day you wore it. Stylish women over 60 know that every item in their wardrobe should work for them, not against them. There's also a deeper truth. Every dollar you spend is a reflection of what you believe you deserve. When you constantly settle for cheap, disposable pieces, you send yourself a quiet message that you're not worth more. But when you choose quality, even if it means buying fewer items, you honor the years of wisdom and experience you carry. It's not about chasing designer labels, it's about respecting your own story. Selestina often tells her friends, every dollar should celebrate your wisdom, not erase it. And she's right. Clothing should last long enough to hold memories, like the dress you wore to your grandson's graduation or the shawl that keeps you warm at evening gatherings. Bargains that fall apart can't give you that. So the next time a clearance rack calls your name, pause and ask, am I buying this because it adds value to my life, or just because it's cheap? True elegance comes not from how much you spend, but how wisely you choose. 3. Shoes that hurt more than they help. Every woman has owned a pair of shoes that looked stunning but felt like punishment after just a few steps. Selestina remembers the glossy heels she once wore to her friend's retirement dinner. They sparkled under the lights, but halfway through the evening, her feet throbbed so badly she had to slip them off under the table. By the end of the night, her confidence had vanished, replaced with discomfort and the silent wish to go home early. That was the moment she decided never again to let shoes rob her of joy. Elegant women over 60 understand that footwear isn't just about appearance, it's about freedom. At this stage of life, foot pain isn't a minor inconvenience. It can affect posture, balance, and even increase the risk of dangerous falls. Health experts remind us that 1 in 4 older adults experiences a fall each year, and ill-fitting shoes are often part of the problem. Why sacrifice your safety for a fleeting fashion statement? True elegance comes from walking with confidence, not wincing with every step. The exciting news is that comfort and style no longer live in separate worlds. Orthopedic chic has become a real trend, with brands creating shoes that blend support, cushioning, and timeless design. Think leather loafers with cushioned insoles, sleek ankle boots with steady block heels, or sandals with arch support that still look beautiful with a linen dress. Instead of hiding functional shoes, today's designers are proudly showcasing them as part of a polished wardrobe. Selestina now chooses shoes that allow her to dance at weddings, stroll through farmers markets, or climb the steps of her church without hesitation. Her friends often compliment her footwear, surprised when she reveals they are designed for comfort first. She smiles and says, shoes are meant to carry you through life, not slow you down. For stylish senior women, the rule is clear: never buy shoes that hurt more than they help. Because when your feet are happy, your confidence shines through, and that's the kind of elegance no heel height can match. 4. Logos that shout instead of whisper. There was a time when carrying a bag covered in bold designer logos felt like the ultimate symbol of success. For many women, those logos seemed to say, "I've made it." But stylish senior women know that true elegance doesn't need to shout. It whispers softly through quality, craftsmanship, and confidence. Selestina once fell into the trap of chasing those visible labels. She saved up for a purse that was more billboard than handbag, convinced it would earn her admiration. And yes, people noticed it, but what they admired wasn't her, it was the logo stamped across the leather. The bag became the star, and Selestina realized she had unintentionally dimmed her own presence. That's when she shifted to what many now call quiet luxury. Instead of broadcasting wealth, quiet luxury celebrates subtlety. Think of a perfectly stitched jacket in a neutral tone, a silk scarf with understated detail, or her current favorite, a hand-woven leather bag from a local artisan that tells a story without a single label in sight. She often carries it to lunch dates, and friends lean in to ask where she found it. The irony? It cost less than the logo-covered bag, yet it turns more heads because it reflects her taste, not a corporation's. There's a deeper lesson here. Logos fade, trends pass, but refinement lasts. By choosing pieces that emphasize texture, fit, and detail instead of loud branding, senior women reclaim the focus. They remind the world that elegance doesn't come from showing status, it comes from showing self-assurance. A logo might scream across a room, but a graceful presence makes people want to draw closer. Selestina likes to say, "Your style should introduce you, not your labels." And she's right. At this stage of life, your story, your poise, and your quiet confidence deserve center stage. The next time you're tempted by a piece plastered with logos, pause and ask, do I want them to notice the bag, or do I want them to notice me? True style is never loud, it's timeless, and it whispers with grace. 5. Clutter jewelry. Every jewelry box tells a story, but for many women, it also reveals a common trap: drawers filled with countless little trinkets that never see the light of day. Selestina once had a collection of inexpensive earrings and necklaces, each purchased on impulse because they were cute or too good of a deal to pass up. Yet when it came time to get dressed for special occasions, she found herself frustrated. None of those small, forgettable pieces carried the presence she needed. They cluttered her space but didn't elevate her style. Her turning point came at her granddaughter's graduation. That morning, she chose a single pearl necklace her late husband had given her decades earlier. As she walked into the auditorium, people immediately noticed, not because it sparkled the loudest, but because it carried a quiet dignity. Family members complimented how radiant she looked, and photos from that day still show her glowing with confidence. It was then she realized, one meaningful piece can outshine an entire drawer of jewelry that has no story. Stylish senior women understand that elegance isn't about quantity, it's about intention. A single bold bracelet, a vintage brooch, or a classic strand of pearls can transform even the simplest outfit. These items don't just accessorize, they become part of your identity, markers of milestones and memories that matter. Unlike clutter jewelry, they age gracefully, gathering significance instead of dust. Selestina now invests only in pieces that she knows she'll cherish, items she's proud to pass down, each with a story attached. She often tells friends, the necklace you wore at your granddaughter's graduation will outshine a drawer full of trinkets. And she's right. Jewelry should remind you of moments, not mistakes. So before buying another shiny bauble that will get lost in the shuffle, ask yourself, will this piece be remembered years from now, or will it be forgotten tomorrow? The answer could be the difference between clutter and timeless elegance. 6. The multiples mistake. It happens so easily. You find a shirt that feels comfortable, the fabric drapes nicely, and the price seems fair. Instead of buying just one, you grab it in 5 different colors, convinced you've outsmarted fashion. Selestina used to do this often. She once bought the same blouse in beige, navy, coral, gray, and white. At first, she felt clever, thinking she had built a wardrobe of options. But as weeks passed, she realized something unsettling. Her closet looked fuller, yet her style looked emptier. Every outfit felt like a repeat, a different shade of the same idea, as if she was stuck rereading the same sentence over and over. This is the heart of the multiples mistake, confusing repetition with refinement. Stylish senior women understand that true elegance is variety expressed with intention, not duplication out of habit. A closet should feel like a book of chapters, each garment telling a different story. Buying multiples may seem practical, but it often leads to boredom, clutter, and wasted money. Instead of expanding possibilities, it narrows them. Today, more seniors are embracing the decluttering movement, choosing lighter wardrobes that emphasize quality, not quantity. Capsule wardrobes, for instance, encourage selecting versatile pieces that mix and match effortlessly without redundancy. The goal isn't to own less for the sake of minimalism, but to own better. When each item has a distinct purpose, getting dressed becomes an act of joy, not a routine of sameness. Selestina likes to remind herself, your closet should reflect the chapters of your life, not the same sentence written 10 times. Now she buys fewer items, but each one adds something new. A patterned scarf that tells of her travels, a jacket that makes her feel powerful, or a dress that brings out her laughter at family gatherings. This approach not only makes her wardrobe more dynamic but also lightens her space and her spirit. The next time you feel tempted to buy the same shirt in another color, pause and ask, does this add a new chapter to my story, or just repeat an old one? That simple question may be the key to turning a crowded closet into a collection of memories worth wearing. 7. Makeup that promises youth. Walk down any beauty aisle and you'll see rows of creams, serums, and powders promising to turn back the clock, erase wrinkles, rewind 20 years, and return you to a version of yourself that no longer exists. Selestina once fell for these promises. She bought a jar of cream that claimed to reverse aging in just 14 days. She applied it faithfully, waiting for miracles. But after weeks, the only thing lighter was her wallet. The lines on her face hadn't disappeared, they had only deepened with the laughter, tears, and wisdom of a life well lived. That was when she realized, grace was never about erasing time, it was about honoring it. Stylish women over 60 don't waste money chasing illusions of youth. They understand that beauty doesn't come from pretending to be someone younger, it comes from embracing who they are now. Instead of miracle creams, they invest in products that enhance their natural glow, tinted moisturizers that add radiance, lip colors that highlight a smile, soft eyeliners that bring warmth to the eyes. These small touches don't try to rewrite history, they let the present shine. There's also a deeper emotional truth. Grace is not in erasing lines, it's in wearing them like medals of life. Every crease tells a story, of sleepless nights spent rocking a baby, of laughter shared with friends until tears rolled, of courage carried through loss and triumph. Why hide the proof of a life lived fully? Stylish senior women know that their faces are living canvases, painted by time itself. Selestina now uses makeup as a tool for expression, not transformation. On Sundays, she swipes a rosy blush that echoes the joy she feels seeing her family gathered. On quiet afternoons, she prefers bare skin and a touch of lip balm, her confidence shining brighter than any product could create. She often reminds friends, makeup should celebrate who you are today, not who you used to be. And that's the secret. When you stop chasing youth, you start radiating elegance. Because true beauty at 60 and beyond isn't about turning back time, it's about walking forward with confidence, authenticity, and grace. 8. Clothes that don't move with you. Elegance should never mean restriction. Yet too many women have spent evenings tugging at skirts, adjusting tight sleeves, or silently suffering through outfits that look polished but feel suffocating. Selestina remembers one particular night at a local jazz club. She had chosen a stiff pencil skirt because it seemed right for the occasion, sleek, formal, sophisticated. But when the music began and couples filled the floor, she stayed seated. Each time she tried to stand, the fabric clung and pinched, making it impossible to move freely. She watched her friends sway and laugh, while her own night was confined to the sidelines. Later, she told herself, if your clothes stop you from living, they're not style, they're cages. Stylish senior women have learned that freedom is the truest form of elegance. Clothes should be companions to your life, not obstacles. Comfort doesn't mean careless dressing, It means choosing fabrics and designs that allow you to move, breathe, and participate in the moments that matter. Flowing dresses that twirl when you dance, trousers with a gentle stretch for family outings, and tops that let you hug your grandchildren without pulling at the seams, these are the choices that reflect wisdom and joy. There is also a health dimension to this truth. At 60 and beyond, restrictive clothing can affect circulation, posture, and balance. Seniors who value their vitality know that garments must support their lifestyle, not hinder it. That's why so many are embracing soft fabrics like jersey, breathable cotton blends, and elegant wrap silhouettes that combine ease with refinement. It's not about rejecting style, it's about redefining it to honor both body and spirit. Selestina now invests only in clothes that allow her to say yes to life. She owns pieces that carry her through a full day without discomfort, from morning errands to evening gatherings. Her wardrobe doesn't fight her, it moves with her. That's the lesson she shares with her friends. True style is not measured by stiffness or formality, but by the freedom it gives you to live fully. Because the most beautiful outfit isn't the one that makes you look perfect in a mirror, it's the one that lets you step onto the dance floor without hesitation. 9. Soulless fast decor fashion. Style isn't limited to what you wear, it extends to the spaces you create and the objects you surround yourself with. Many women fall into the habit of buying quick, trendy decor or accessories that look good in the store but quickly lose meaning once they're at home. Selestina remembers once filling her living room with mass-produced throw pillows and generic wall art because a catalog told her it would make the space look modern. For a while, everything appeared put together, but something was missing. Guests complimented her home politely, yet no one ever asked about the pieces. They looked nice, but they carried no story, no connection, just decoration without soul. The same applies to fashion. Stylish senior women have discovered that the most powerful items are those with history, not just a price tag. Selestina's favorite example is a scarf she bought years ago on a trip to Paris. It isn't flashy, and it certainly wasn't expensive, but whenever she wears it, people notice. They don't just ask where she bought it, they ask about the memory behind it. Suddenly, the scarf isn't fabric, it's conversation, culture, and a personal story woven into her style. No mall brand could ever compete with that. At this stage of life, every item, whether clothing, jewelry, or decor, should carry memory, not dust. Fast decor fashion and disposable accessories may look trendy in the moment, but they quickly fade into clutter, robbing you of space and energy. What truly elevates a woman's style, and her home, is surrounding herself with things that matter. Pieces collected during travels, gifts from loved ones, or items that remind her of milestones create an atmosphere that feels authentic, warm, and unique. Selestina now avoids buying decor or fashion simply to fill space. Instead, she chooses items that speak to her story. When friends step into her home or compliment her outfit, there's always a tale to tell, a memory that connects the past to the present. That's the essence of lasting elegance, curating a life where every piece has meaning, and nothing is soulless or disposable. Because real style doesn't come from what's trendy, it comes from what's timelessly true to you. 10. Buying to impress others. Of all the shopping mistakes women can make, this one is the most costly, not just in money, but in peace of mind. Buying to impress others is the trap that steals authenticity. Selestina remembers a time when she felt pressure to fit in at a charity gala. Friends whispered about designer gowns and flashy jewelry, and she convinced herself she needed to match their level. She bought an expensive dress that wasn't her style, a shade that washed her out, and shoes she hated. She wore it once, endured the night, and never touched it again. The compliments she received weren't for her, they were for the dress. And deep down, she knew it. Stylish senior women eventually realize that elegance isn't about external approval. When you buy out of insecurity or pressure, you're handing over control of your identity to others. The joy of fashion vanishes, replaced with anxiety. Will they think this is enough? Will they notice me? But the truth is, people notice confidence far more than they notice labels or price tags. A smile, posture, and presence outshine anything bought for show. This is why the most important never buy is anything chosen to please the crowd. Instead, by what makes you feel alive when you look in the mirror. A flowing dress in your favorite color, a pair of earrings that sparkle because they remind you of your mother, a shawl that wraps you in comfort at family dinners, these are the purchases that add joy and connection. They don't demand applause, but they earn genuine admiration. Selestina often reminds herself, true elegance begins when you dress for the woman in the mirror, not the crowd outside. Once she embraced this, her style became effortless. She no longer chased approval, she radiated confidence that was hers alone. And that's the kind of elegance no one can buy for you, it comes from within. Because at the end of the day, clothes fade, trends shift, and opinions change, but the way you feel about yourself lasts forever. When Selestina first began her journey, her closet looked like many others, stuffed to the brim, yet strangely empty of joy. She had pieces bought on impulse, items worn once and forgotten, and bargains that didn't survive 2 washes. Every morning she felt the same frustration, standing before a wall of clothes, but never quite finding something that truly reflected her. It wasn't just about fashion, it was about energy wasted, money lost, and confidence dimmed. Her turning point came when she realized that style wasn't about owning more, but about choosing less and choosing wisely. She began slowly, letting go of clothes that pinched, patterns that no longer suited her, and accessories that carried no meaning. At first, it was difficult. She worried about wasting money by discarding items she had paid for. But soon, she discovered a greater truth. Every piece she removed made space for freedom, for breathing room, for clarity. What she lost in clutter, she gained in peace. Today, her wardrobe tells a very different story. Instead of shelves overflowing with sameness, she owns a graceful, curated collection. Each piece earns its place. There's the scarf she bought in Paris that brings back the taste of fresh croissants and morning walks by the Seine. There's the dress she wore when she gave a speech at her granddaughter's graduation, a moment forever tied to fabric. There are soft linen pants she slips into on summer afternoons, allowing her to feel both comfortable and refined. Nothing in her closet is random anymore. Each item reflects her values, her experiences, and her journey. Selestina often says, "What you don't buy defines your elegance as much as what you do." That wisdom reshaped her life. She no longer measures style in the number of hangers filled but in the depth of meaning each garment carries. And this is where her story becomes your invitation. Open your closet tonight. Which items speak your story, and which only speak the store's? This small act of reflection can be life-changing, because closets are not just about clothes. They are about identity, confidence, and the way we show up for the world. Let me ask you, have you ever bought something you instantly regretted? Tell us in the comments, your story might save another woman today. Your experience, your honesty, could be the wisdom someone else needs to break free from the same trap. Selestina's transformation shows us that elegance at 60 and beyond isn't about chasing youth or trends, it's about embracing clarity and authenticity. From clutter to confidence, from waste to wisdom, her wardrobe now mirrors her soul. And so can yours. If her journey resonated with you, tap like right now, it tells YouTube this message matters. Share this with a friend over 60 who deserves elegance without clutter. And subscribe to Ageless Style for women over 60, because elegance doesn't expire, and neither do you.